Well, they're mixing religion and politics, and that's one of the unique things about our country and the founding of our country is that we made great pains in our Constitution to separate the two. From the time that the Emperor Constantine and the Holy Roman Catholic Church determined which books were going to get to be in the Bible and which weren't in 300 A.D. Through the Crusades, through the Middle Ages, politics and religion being in bed together caused a lot of problems over time. And people that originally came to the United States came here to escape religious, having their lives controlled by religious institutions and that sort of thing. So we put that in our Constitution that church and state will be separate. And I think, again, the argument that like same-sex marriage should be prohibited based on religious grounds, that's not a basis given the way the whole structure of our country is set up to complain about anything. I also think that, I think the objections to same-sex marriage and people like Senator Rapert, they do come from a religious background, and under the Constitution, it protects those people as well. Their churches can never be made to recognize same-sex marriage or allow a same-sex couple to marry in their church. The Constitution protects them in that area. But marriage, once it's recognized by the government as a civil institution and government privileges and benefits are accorded to people based upon their marital status, can't discriminate based on, among people unless they have a real good reason to it, and that reason can't be based upon the preferences of a particular religion. And if we start letting religious doctrine to control the outcome of who gets civil benefits of one type or another, then we really get into a slippery slope, because then we get into, well, what religion? Whose religion? And that's why our founders had the foresight to keep those things separate. One other point I would make about these folks is, this is not a majority rules country. I mean, we're a republic, and a big part of a republic is you're trying to protect the minority. We're supposed to be a free country where basically as long as you're not hurting somebody else, you get to do it. And because the majority of people may not particularly care for it, it's really neither here nor there. You're protected. Your freedoms are protected. Your fundamental rights are protected. And so, we've got these gray area. We've got these areas that certain segments of society disagree on. Abortion, same-sex marriage, and that sort of thing. Unlike 99% of the other laws, like laws against murder or rape or robbery, everybody agrees on those, but we have these limited number of gray area issues where society is divided on, like abortion or same-sex marriage. And in those areas, one group shouldn't get to make the rules for everyone else based upon their particular religious views. I think that is offensive, because it is this one group saying they have a direct line to God and they know what God wants and the rest of us don't. And that's offensive to me. And I think it's offensive to a large segment of society on any of these issues where society is fairly well divided. And in these areas where society is somewhat split, it should be left up to the individual. If you don't want an abortion, or you're against abortion, don't get one. If you're against same-sex marriage, marry somebody of the opposite sex. But leave everyone else alone. Quit trying to tell them what to do.